Gather round, friends, for it's story time. This is a tale about a 9-year-old little boy and his discovery of a strange and unusual video game. One day, this little boy went to his local Blockbuster, where he came across a video game called Dudes with Attitude. He was mesmerized by the strange cover art, for it contained upon it treasure chests and pirates. He would go home and rent the game, only to be greeted with this. However odd the game would seem, he would eventually figure out how to play it, and although it would only keep his interest for a few minutes at a time, he would look upon this game fondly. Fast forward to the year 2006, this boy, now a man, has joined the internet website known as Game Trailers. While on this site, he discovered a series of videos called The Video Game Vault, where a gamer going by the name of Stuttering Craig shared his viewpoints on several classic video games. To the young man's surprise, Dudes with Attitude was listed, and with growing excitement, the young man clicked the video to hear what Stuttering Craig had to say. And this is what he got.
There's a reason why games are rare, and most of the time it's because people didn't buy them. And there's a good reason why people did not buy Dudes with Attitudes for the NES. Look at this. Do we have any idea what's going on? No. We don't even know the goal of the game. We don't know how to stay alive. We don't know why we're bouncing off the walls, but we do know this game sucks!
The young man was shocked. How could anyone denounce a game they had cherished so much as a child? How could anyone just sweep the game under the rug without mentioning any of the game's features? He would not stand for this injustice. So the young man pulled together his resources, promising to himself, nay, the world, that he would now allow any game, no matter how unusual or strange, be ignored. And thus, WTF Games You've Never Played was born. Yes, that's right. It was because of Stuttering Craig's review of Dudes with Attitude that I started the WTF Games You've Never Played series. I have been waiting to do this review for quite some time, but for one reason or another I've been putting it off. However, now that I'm a member of ScrewAttack.com's website, I have decided to finally present to you the game that started it all. Dudes with Attitude. Released in 1990, this was one of those unlicensed games that had been developed for the Nintendo. It was created by American Video Entertainment, who developed 19 unlicensed games for the NES, Dudes with Attitude being one of their first. Once you start the game, you can choose the type of game you'd like to play. This includes single player, 2-player, and co-op. There's also a password system that lets you continue where you left off. After choosing the game type, you need to choose your dude. You got Happy Dude, Foxy Dude, Babe Dude, Patch Dude, and Bozo Dude. And considering that Patch is on the cover of the game, he's the one I want to play as. This is your main hub. You need to drag your cursor over the map until you find an X. If you don't feel like looking, you could just hit the B button to make the cursor fly to the nearest marker. Press start and the level begins. Dudes with Attitude is a puzzle game in which you need to collect all the treasures on the screen without dying or running out of time. The trick of the game is that you can only collect or pass through items that are the same color as your dude. To change the color of your dude, you need to go through these attitude changers, which look like paint cans. Once you're the color of the item you want to collect, you just need to smash into it. The controls are very unusual. While bouncing left and right, you can only guide the dude by using up or down. and when you're bouncing up and down, you can only use left or right. It's kind of like Pac-Man, except you cannot go backwards unless you hit something. To make things a little more complicated, the dude has a tendency to veer off in another direction if he comes across a fork in the road. So when you expect him to keep moving straight, he'd suddenly go up or down when he reaches a crossroad. So the controls are really the only problem with the game. If they were more accurate and straightforward, this game would be a whole lot better. Other than the movement, you can also control the speed of your dude by holding the B button, which will come in handy for certain missions such as this one. The enemy types that you'll encounter are these spinning wheels of death, landmines, monster teeth, these weird splotches with faces on them, and sperm! Nah, just kidding. That's supposed to be a snake. The game starts off pretty easy, but the difficulty ramps up rather quickly. Sometimes the puzzles seem very straightforward, but other times they feel very cheap. Take this level for example. There are invisible walls everywhere, so you have no clue how to get from one side of the map to the other. To make matters worse, there's no indication of what you're supposed to do until you find this hidden boat icon that allows you to cross the water. However, good luck not deactivating the icon by accident while trying to collect the hearts. Then you have this level. I already explained that dudes will move in a different direction when they hit a crossroad, but this is insane! I have almost no control over this guy, and I only have 100 seconds to beat the level. You can see my frustration about not being able to remain in the jewel room when I get there. There is also an interesting feature that I need to mention, and that is the ability to build your own levels. Using the game's custom map editor, you can make a level that is just as frustrating as the ones in the game. So that's Dudes with Attitude. However, the question remains, is this game good or bad? Well, it's frustrating to control and some of the levels seem very cheap, but it is playable, and to be honest, I kind of have a strange obsession with it. It's like a train wreck that I cannot look away from. Now, is it because I played this game so much as a kid that I have a soft spot for it in my heart? Or is it because I love terribly cheesy things? I consider this game to be the Sharktopus of the NES library. It's not by any means a great game or even a good game, but it is playable, and if you're a bit sick in the head like I am, you might even enjoy it. Though I do not know how long you'd last before wanting to throw it through a window.